Fashion is a test for those who know their body and for those who don't. And summer highlights this. But it's also a time for people to show off their mastery in the most important element in fashion, the body. We all have them, but not all know how to style them. And a lot of people like to think of styling the clothing before they actually style the body. And that's just not how it works. And it's because when people, and by people I mean you, shop online or go to your closet, you most likely are gonna grab pieces and ask yourself, does this look good with this? And sure, maybe it does, but only in a two-dimensional space because this looks great. But once we throw them on a three-dimensional body, it looks absolutely like boof. The main reason for this is because the body in our minds is most likely the idealized version of a body that doesn't exist in reality. And I've fallen victim to this many times before. I call it the mirror moment. The clothing online is shot on models that most likely are vastly skinnier than me or you. So to go based off the mirror image is a tad bit presumptuous. And the problem really isn't about your body. It's the way you go about finding and styling clothing that best suits it. So instead of having more mirror moments where you put on clothing and you go and step right in front of your mirror and you realize, holy, this does not look good on me at all, just like this fit that I'm wearing currently looks horrible on me, let's talk about the fundamentals. And the first thing we're gonna be talking about is knowing your measure. Small, medium, large, XL, XXL, XXX, L. Now the thing in common with these letters is how bad the system of measure is, because a novice uses letters to understand their body, but an expert uses numbers to truly define their body's build. So with that, I ask you a question. How many inches? The tools that we're gonna need for this is either a measuring tape, preferably, or a good old ruler. Make sure to grab the t-shirt that fits you the most perfect. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna put that bad boy flat on the surface and you're going to be measuring the shoulders, the pit to pit, which also could be the chest, and the overall length. Once you get those measurements, take a notebook like this, write down what those measurements came down to, and now you have a proper scale to understand how a t-shirt would actually fit you. You can cross-reference this with a lot of the flats that a lot of brands have with their measurement guides, and it'll give you a general idea of how the garment's actually going to fit you when you're actually online shopping or you're in person. If a garment that you find online fits bigger, let's say, the numbers are a couple inches bigger, you'll know that it might fit a little bit more oversized or a little bit more roomy. If it goes under those measurements, it's most likely going to be tighter on your body, and that's something you may not want to buy. Unless the garment you measured isn't a perfect fit to you, maybe it's a little bit more roomy, then maybe it might slim you down, and that might be something you might be interested in grabbing. Now that we got tops figured out, let's talk about bottoms, aka the hardest thing to do, pants. There's a lot of measurements when it comes down to pants. The waist, the rise, the length, the width around the thigh, which matters to those bigger thunder thigh guys like myself. Some may have never measured those before, some might have. It all depends. So you might be asking yourself, why do we even have to take our measurements and go through this giant process of figuring out what is the perfect thing for us, knowing all these numbers, writing it all down? And it's mostly because fashion designers are just inherently selfish. They create worlds that don't have your body type in mind. And measurements help us determine what fits and what doesn't. And it really allows us to understand what realm or what world we can actually join in terms of designers that are up there. For example, a designer I could never wear ever in my entire life is Hedi Slimane. I could never wear any of his clothing. It is too damn tight. I will literally bust the seams out with my thighs, with my back, with my shoulders. Another brand that I probably could never wear ever, I've only ever tried some things on at the largest size that they have, is CCP. Yes, they make awesome stuff. Look at these runways, they're awesome. They make a lot of cool objects and interesting things. I could probably wear some CCP shoes, but in terms of the clothing, I could never wear those items. And it's because they're not creating a world with my body in mind. They're fully creating a world with a certain body type, clearly with the measurements and obviously the models they utilize in their everyday catalog of clothing that they have. Now that we've used numbers to understand our body's measurements, let's get into our body's ratios. Ratios, aka proportions. Ratios make up our body's anatomy, from the torso to leg ratio, shoulder to hip ratio, and waist to hip, etc., etc. But knowing this information is crucial to understanding why a high-waisted pant would work on your body, or why a cropped t-shirt looks so good on everybody. It really all comes back down to the ratios. So let's use me as an example. I'm hoping I don't look chopped in this, but for example, if I were to bring this line up, because this is a very long shirt, now if I were to tuck in this button down, you can see this very nice brown belt that I have on. It creates this visual illusion that I'm a lot taller just because of me showing off the entirety of these pants. You can see a lot more pant versus shirt, right? The main idea I want to get across is that the lines sort of segment your body into parts. So you can see this visual hard line here. There's a reason why it looks like I'm a lot taller than I was previously. There's a lot of differences that just overall changing the line of what you can visually see changes how the outfit looks. Now, in terms of reality speak, if you are already tall, garments are gonna look pretty good on you already. If you are really short, you're gonna have to play around with proportions and change your ratios up a lot. So short guys kind of have a debuff, I'd say. You know, they're a little debuffed compared to taller guys. Taller guys are just kind of buffed already, a little OP, I'd say. But, you know, if you're shorter, you're working with what you got, and you probably will be playing around with how your clothing fits. So remember, lines visually change how you look physically. One person would say I look really tall, another person would say I look really short, depending on how this shirt is tucked in or tucked out. It can change the overall height and visual look of a guy like me. Even though I might be 5'10", 6'2", who knows? But now that we understand our body's ratios, it's time for you to get naked. Our bodies constantly change as we age. Some get bigger, some get thinner, and some stay consistent. And that's why we need exercise. Our physical and mental well-being are deeply connected, and that's why we should be exercising. There are probably plenty of times when you've gotten naked and you've looked at yourself in the mirror and you probably tell yourself, maybe I should go on a walk, maybe I should go exercise, maybe I should start doing something that is of physical nature. And I would say, do that. For me, per se, I work out mostly now for my mental health. It fully creates a good mental barrier. For me at least, I feel heavily mentally well when I go and work out. After I work out, I get dopamine, I feel great, and I'm ready to start my day. I go super early in the morning. Although it sucks to mentally wake up and just time to go work out is really tough, but I go and I do it, and after some time you sort of develop a habit. And habits take quite a while to develop, but once you get them, it's great. But going on walks, try and hit 10K steps if you can every day. I go on walks, I call a friend, and I keep a steady pace as I walk around the neighborhood, and sometimes I find a new little thing to do. There's a new coffee shop, there's a new store that's popping up, and I do live in New York City, so there's always something random around, but going on walks and calling your friends that you may have not talked to for a while is by far the best, almost like double thing you could do at once, you know? You're getting your steps in, you're getting a good conversation, and you just feel healthy. But regardless of mental health and just physical activity in general, working out does help you fit into clothes better. As we've talked about this prior, there are some worlds you're not allowed to enter unless you're a certain size and a certain body. But if that's what your main goal is, to go and work out and fit into these types of clothing, then so be it. Even if you might end up fitting into those really tight jeans or maybe a shirt you've been trying to hit, there's always a one biggest thing that matters the most, and that's acceptance. If there was a part of this video that I wouldn't want you to skip, it would be this part. Acceptance is the most important key to this entire thing. You can work out, you can learn your measurements, you can buy clothing that actually fits your body. You can work out as much as you want, and you will always look at yourself in the mirror and realize there's always something to fix. Acceptance is about learning to appreciate what you have and learning to love it. And that experience goes a very long way. And this could even go for many other things in your life. But in terms of your body, I remember reading something a while ago that really stuck with me. Although they have changed their physical appearance, they have not changed their internal self-image. They look different on the outside. However, if their internal affirmation is still that they are overweight, then their self-image will continue to be a version of themselves that needs to lose weight. Despite their results, their actions and decisions will begin to change until they revert back to this internal self-image. And this goes for mental health, and this goes for many other things. You always revert back to what you believe you deserve. And I think that's the ultimate takeaway that I'd like to send you off with. Regardless of all that, I leave you guys with a question. Do you think that fashion nowadays is pushing the skinny bias, specifically on social media? And if so, I'm sure there's probably a million things you want to say in the comment section, like specifically the Hedi Slimane skinny jeans kind of coming back again. Leave them down in the comment section below. I'm going to be making a video about this later in the future. So yeah, maybe I might pull some of your guys' comments from that and sort of attribute that into the video that I make. But anyways, thanks for stopping by and watching to this very end. I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you in the next video. And with that, I'll see you later, handsome. Wow, we made it to the very end of the video where I sort of talk and yap and talk about my appreciation for you guys. Thank you to everybody that bought a pair of pants from the drop that I released. For references, soon enough we'll be making more things. I have a new thing coming in with these hats. This is only one of them, just a sneak preview of one of the pieces. If you have an idea of what this piece is in terms of material, leave them down in the comment section below. I'd like to see what you guys think this is. It's a very cool hat, fits my head, very proper. I feel like I look kind of stupid with my hair, but regardless of that, there's a lot of projects that I have going on. There's a lot of things that I'm doing in the works. There's a lot of moments in my life that I don't really have all that much time to do so. So I'm trying to figure out the scheduling with everything. I'm moving back towards doing YouTube mostly full-time as much as I can, regardless of the job that I do have. But thank you to everyone that subscribed to the Patreon, and thank you to everyone that has even followed me on Twitch when I was Twitch streaming. But now I'm fully doing everything on YouTube, and I'm going to be doing some stuff for Patreon. A lot of fun things are going to go on there. I finally feel like I'm a lot happier in terms of my content creation journey. I feel good here, and I think I want to stay. And I hope that you guys will stick along for enough time to see me grow and actually, I don't know, maybe there's some cool stuff that I'll be making, and I don't really know what we'll get into, but there's definitely gonna be a lot of interesting things that transpire with content. If you have any content ideas of things that you'd like to see from me, I'm going to be focusing on doing a variety of things. So it's not gonna be all just fashion. I'm gonna get back into fragrances. I wanna do some more room stuff, like interior design things. There's going to be some aquascaping in the near future for this channel. So I would like you guys to understand that I'm moving away a little bit from the fashion medium and going towards things that I genuinely like and I'm really hyped to talk about. So if you want to stay for that, please do. And I always love random weird hobbies. So if you guys have any cool hobbies that you recommend me trying out, I'd love to maybe see those and check them out. Maybe I'll learn the banjo at some point. Maybe that'd be kind of like a cool thing to do. I don't know, we'll see. But regardless of that, thank you for everyone that watched to the very end. I appreciate you even more. Stay handsome and see ya.